So we're now on to our final dates. First of all, we had George and April. It was April that organised the date. She took George flying. Supposedly she's taking flying lessons, so she had her instructor take the two of them out on this small flying aircraft. Of course, we saw George. He was petrified. He doesn't like flying, so he says, no, it's not his thing. But as we've seen throughout this whole experiment, it's always April pushing him out of his comfort zone to do things. Yeah, she's very much a thrill seeker, as we know. I don't know. I'm not too sure whether to look at this as a good or bad thing. Yeah. But anyway, we saw them go up in this aircraft. George was petrified initially. And then he finally relaxed and started enjoying himself, which I was quite surprised by. Yeah, these two seem to be having a whale of a time up in the air. And then we saw them come down to land. We then saw them have a picnic in the hangar, and they were talking about the usual, what's going to happen outside the experiment. Yeah, all of that. And then we heard him say something about he could see himself falling in love with her, or he feels he's in love with her. Something like that, he said. And her reply was ditto. And I thought, ditto? What does that mean? Ditto. Well, I know what it means. But I expected her to say the same words back. And she didn't quite say that. She said ditto. That's questionable to me. That's questionable. I'm not convinced. These two are on the same page. I'm not convinced. Outside of here, I just can't see it working. I just can't see it working. They may be all lovey-dovey right now and all getting on and like a house on fire. Yeah, it looks romantic, but there's too many red flags here. There's too many red flags. Even though they look like they've worked through their differences, they've come to this equilibrium. Yeah, I'm not convinced. I don't care what anybody tells me. I'm not convinced. Outside of here, I don't know how this long distance thing's going to work. And I just feel it's more her having to, I don't know. It's more her having to do the work. Because he's not moving. Everything about his life is not going to change. But hers will have to. And I just can't see it happening. I just can't. So I've got nothing more to say here. Moving on. We then had Sophie and Jonathan. They spent a day out at a winery. So you saw the nice vineyard. Looked very pretty. Looked very romantic. Everything started off well. And then it went downhill. Why am I not surprised? Ugh. This guy. I don't know what it is about him. He just irritates my soul. He really does. He irritates my soul. This poor girl. She could do better. They may look good together. Because they do look good together. But they're just not meant to be. The questions that were asked of each other, I just thought, oh, here we go. And to be honest, I thought Jonathan was getting better. I thought he was getting better. I thought Sophie had sort of tamed him in a way. But I can't see the hope here. These two are just not meant to be. He doesn't have the right calibre of work compared to what the family would want of Sophie's partner. He doesn't have the money compared to what Sophie's parents would want of a partner. And then the filter that he has when it comes to being amongst people is questionable. It's very questionable. As she says, she wants to be comfortable bringing her husband or partner around her friends and family. And where he's concerned, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have the etiquette to be able to contain himself in such a way as not to offend anybody. He just doesn't have it.
I spend 90% of my time piss taking, which isn't. It's not an attack on you as a person.
But it's just like
Again,
there's no point even saying it.
No, there isn't.
He spends 90% of his time piss taking. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? This dumb idiot over here, fool, dickhead, spends 90% of his time piss taking. And how old is he again? Is he not 32? Somewhere around there. And he's still playing like he's 12. And he's still behaving like he's 12. 90% of the time, piss taking. This is a boy you're dealing with. This is a toddler. He's not grown. His mother still babies him. He's a child. Sophie, do yourself a favour and leave. Leave.
You do not understand me as a person. You do not understand me, full stop.
You don't want to change. You don't want to compromise on anything about yourself. Anything.
Yes, I will compromise, but I'm not changing fundamentally who I am.
He says he will compromise, but I'm still trying to work out where the compromising has happened. But then again, he has tried. He has tried. I'll give him that. But at the end of the day, he talks about he doesn't want to change the fundamental of himself. The sarcasticness, the 90% of the type, always joking. No, darling, you need to change. You need to change. Because that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. To have that type of attitude at 32 years old, that's ridiculous.
I think I've spent a lot of this time in here feeling like instead of you enjoying me, you've tolerated me.
And you're right. You are so right. 100% right. She has tolerated you. Tolerated you. You're blasted irritating. You're bloody irritating. How she's put up with you for the past few weeks is beyond me. It's absolutely beyond me. You are bloody irritating.
I have a laugh, a joke, I'm quite sarcastic in my way. I'm not going to be with somebody that can't take that, because then it'll just be me sat there quiet feeling completely awkward, and the last person I want to feel awkward with is my wife.
Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Okay, well, good luck finding someone that isn't offended by most things.
Listen, I've been in relationships where they haven't got offended at all.
Hang on. You've been in relationships where they haven't been offended at all. Oh, hang on. If I do recall, you said at the beginning in your VT that all your women have left you. Hello? Hello? You said all your women have left you. Hello? Hello? Did you hear what I said? All your women have left you. And you don't know why, you said. You don't know why. You need to look at yourself in the mirror, mister. You need to take a deep, long look at yourself in the mirror. The problem is you. The problem is you. The sarcasticness, you're saying that they weren't offended. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Mister, wake up. And Sophie, do yourself a favour. You know it's not working. You know there's no hope here. You're flogging a dead horse. You're flogging a dead horse. Leave. I've got nothing more to say here. Nothing at all. Moving on. Next we have Thomas and Adrian. Oh dear. I don't even know where to start here. So we saw at the commitment ceremony, Thomas changed his mind in regards to staying because Adrian pleaded. We might as well just say that. Adrian pleaded for him to stay. Yeah. But Adrian didn't do anything to help this relationship right now. He didn't do anything. Out of all the dates he could have planned, he planned that buggy thing that they did on their honeymoon in Mexico. You knew that Thomas didn't like it. You knew that Thomas didn't like it. So what did you have in your head to try and impress him? To take him back to the memories of Mexico? Well, why would you do that? That makes no damn sense to me. Your job is to impress him. And to impress him was to take him out for a spa day. To do something intimate, something more relaxing, something where it's very touchy-feely. Because isn't that what you were supposed to do this week to bring the relationship along? Was to be more tactile. What were you thinking? But anyway, they went out on this buggy thing. And as we saw, Thomas didn't like it. He stormed off after they finished that activity. And he was moaning to the camera, as we saw. The next time we saw these guys, they were sitting at one picnic table, eating and having a conversation. And then the question came up in regards to, again, the tactileness. We're not seeing any of that. We're not seeing any of that. So where is this going? You can see Thomas is going round in his head thinking, why am I here? And at the same time, Adrian looked awkward anyway during that conversation. He was doing everything to avoid eye contact because he felt awkward. He knows it's not going to work. He knows this is not going to work. But he's just pushing through, trying to push through. And these two are just not on the same page. Thomas likes the touchy-feely. Adrian doesn't. And I keep thinking, is Adrian asexual? Didn't one of the experts ask that same question to him? I'm sure it's Charlene. I'm sure she asked that question to him, whether he was asexual. Yeah, I'm not too sure he answered the question either. So, I don't know about him. He's such a nice person, but at the end of the day, these two together are not a match. So, I really don't care. They're not going to work. It's as simple as that. So moving on. Our next couple are Jenna and Zoe. Now they went on a glamping trip. An eco glamping trip. I actually thought that was cute. Not too sure it's my thing. I've never been camping in my life, let alone go glamping. Yeah. But that looks cute. I did, however, like that bath thing they had in the middle of the camp. That hot, steamy, spa-y thing. I thought that was cute. Yeah, that was actually cute. I could see myself in that. Yeah, I could see myself in that. But anyway, moving on. We saw them go about their day. And then we saw them sit down for a picnic. And the question was asked from Jenna to Zoe, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? And Zoe mentioned about having a home, having a partner, and having kids as a part of that. So again, we're here with the kids. There's no getting away from this subject. There's no getting away from it. It doesn't matter. My girl Jenna said from the beginning she didn't want children. And as the process has gone on, she's been to and fro with the idea. But we know she doesn't want kids. We know. We know. As I said before, by 30, you already know if it's a yes or a no. By 30. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's a no. But as Zoe has said, she doesn't want to get with somebody knowing that they're in two minds about children, and 2 years down the line, they turn around and say, no, this is not for me. Yeah, we don't want to get to that position. We don't want to get there. So you better know at the beginning when you get with somebody whether they want children. That's one of the first few questions that needs to be on the table. It needs to be on the table. And if they turn around and say, oh, I'm not sure, you know what? Do the best thing, leave it exactly where it is and walk away. Simple. Walk away. Don't bother trying and change their mind. Don't do all of that. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. So at the end of the day, I can't see where this is going. I don't care about the logistics of who lives where and all that fanjangle. Not interested. The most important question is the kid thing. Do they want children? If they turn around and say no, or they're not sure, like I said, leave it exactly where it is and walk away. So in conclusion, outside of this, no, it's not going to work. So this is where I'm going to leave those two. Moving on, the next couple we saw were Shanita and Jordan. They went to a screening of their wedding. The whole cinema to themselves, and sat down with their little picnic again, watching a screening of their wedding. Now, that was very romantic. I actually liked that. That was so romantic that they were in tears watching it. They were in tears watching it. And I've said it from the beginning with these two. They may have their squabbles, they may have their ups and downs, but they always find a happy medium to get back together. This is a typical marriage. This is a typical marriage. And I like that about them, that they're able to resolve whatever problems they may have. So watching these two, just watching these two throughout this whole experiment gives me hope.
I love you for being you. You need to appreciate, I'm in this for you 100%, do you know what I mean?
Just hearing those words from Jordan, I'm sure Shanita felt reassured of where the future's going. And you saw them trying to plan. And they were talking about planning what they're going to do on the outside to keep this relationship alive.
There's 2 hours between us, but let's start organising things. Let's go a weekend away somewhere. Let's maybe book a short trip abroad. Let's start planning things so we've got something to look forward to.
Because they live 2 hours apart, so it's all about making arrangements, meeting up, booking a holiday, going away for a weekend, all of that stuff. So these guys are in the right headspace. They are planning. When I look at somebody like Jenna and Zoe, they don't plan. There's no planning involved. Zoe definitely is not planning. So, as I said, I can't see them working. But coming back to Shanita and Jordan, these guys are the real deal. They're planning. And watching that whole, like I said, the cinema scene, I thought it was cute. It was cute. When they started tearing up, I started tearing up. Oh, I'm a big romantic. I really am. I really am.
Today, honestly, it's been one of the most romantic days since the very beginning. It's really cemented my feelings for Shanita.
Jordan does mean a lot to me. I'm very grateful and fortunate that the experts delivered him to me.
I've got my fingers crossed for these two, and I hope it works out for them. So moving on. Last but not least, we have Whitney and Matt. Now, I don't like how them two came together. I will say that. But at the same time, I can't help but like these two together. We saw them at the Shard, having a bath together, with their strawberries and chocolate and their champagne and their giggliness. Oh, gives me tingles, that does. I quite enjoyed it. I thought, wow, these two are really in lust. Yes, I said in lust. Not quite in love yet. I'm going to say in lust. Because we need to see what they're really like on the outside for it to be love, as far as I'm concerned. Right now it's lust, but I'm liking the in lust right now. Yeah, this is very romantic. I like these two together. I never thought I'd say that. I never really thought I'd say that. Especially about Whitney. Especially about Whitney. She's rubbing off on me. She is. But I'm still not totally convinced. We know she's got the attitude. Even the way she was with Duca. She didn't even know him when she walked down the aisle and she had this attitude about her. I question it. But where Matt is concerned, all we see is the lovey-dovey side of them. Yeah, I wonder what would happen if he got on the wrong side of her. I wonder what would happen. But anyway, I'm not going to go there. We're not going to dwell on that. Let's just keep it romantic. We later saw these guys have a nice romantic meal of an evening, overlooking the City of London. Oh, the sights are lovely though. Oh, I will say that. The sight is really nice to watch that of a night time. Yeah, very pretty. So these two were having a nice meal, and they were talking about where they can see themselves in 5 years from now. All of that, having babies, getting married. Yeah. And when they get married, she wants to get married in St. Albans. And he was talking about, I'm not too sure my nan's going to be able to travel. And she said, no, she will. She will travel. Something like that. And I thought, oh, God. Whitney, you're funny. You're funny. You're not budging. You're not budging. It's St. Albans. We're getting married. That's what she said. So these two are really in that headspace. This is like a fairy tale. That's how I'm going to say it. It's like a fairy tale. I never thought I'd see Whitney smile. Never thought I'd see her smile. The sourpuss face she had at the beginning of this experiment with Duca. Oh dear. I never thought I'd see her smile. But it's nice to see her smile. It just looks like a whole different person. She looks like a whole different person. And Matt is doing that for her. Oh dear. Well, what more can I say? Well, I can say more. Because we saw these two give each other presents. He gave her a surprise of a tattoo on his upper thigh, saying, I appreciate you. Some sort of words of acclamation they made to each other when they first met at the couples retreat. Yeah, I appreciate you, he said. And then we saw the same thing happen when she gave her present to him, which was a framed picture of them inside an Uber, a cab, a taxi, a chauffeur-driven limousine. Not too sure what it was. But anyway, we saw a picture of the two of them together. And at the bottom of the picture, she put, I appreciate you too. Yeah, so these two are on the same page. These two are definitely on the same page. They seem to finish each other's sentences, we might as well just say. Don't know what's going on here, but this is magical. It's magical. Again, I'm going to say, not too sure how it's going to pan out outside. But right now, these two are in lust. And I'm actually liking it. I'm actually liking it. Very romantic. This is what we all want. We want this as well as Shanita and Jordan. We want this. This lovey-dovey. We want this. At the end of the day, we really want this. But how the two of them came together is the controversy amongst the group. They're not liking it. We know that. We know that. But who cares? Who really cares? Someone has to make it outside of this experience, outside of this experiment. Otherwise, watching this program would have been a waste of our valuable time. Because a lot of these couples are in trouble. I have hopes for Shanita and Jordan, and now I have hopes for Whitney and Matt. Someone's got to make it. Someone's got to make it. So I've got my fingers crossed. So this is where I'm going to leave it. If you like what you heard, please like, comment and subscribe. Till next time.